In one of the most thrilling episodes, dangers lurked everywhere around Vimishia. She was attacked by the killer giants, but her friend Shiel intervened to fend them off. However, he fell into the river, making the situation even more dire for Vimishia. Eventually, she was captured by these monsters. Will Vimishia survive this attack? Follow the story to its conclusion to find out everything. Our episodes begin with this anime, where we see Sora running with Vimishia chasing after him, asking him to wait for her. Vimishia then sits down to rest for a while, drinks, and tells Sora that he seems very energetic today. Sora appears very happy, but Vimishia realizes that Sora has changed after treating Shiel's wounds. He consumed the wounds and evolved. Indeed, he loves the blue doses that heal wounds, but Vimishia doesn't finish her conversation. She notices Sora moving away from her a little, so she follows him and asks him what's wrong. Then, she is surprised to see a very large hole and says that the Nunosho was digging here in search of Yamamu. She wonders how big this Nunosho is. Suddenly, she hears a sound, and when she looks, she sees the wolf Shiel. She becomes very happy and starts playing with him, telling them that she loves them very much. The scene transitions to the night, and we see Vimishia eating grilled meat and telling the wolf that it was easy to prepare dinner when he caught many wild rabbits. She thanks him for that and says that tomorrow she will wake up early to check the field mouse traps. The next morning, Vimishia goes to check the traps, but finds no mice at all. She feels sad and says that she came back empty-handed, but she still has some leftover meat from the previous night and will eat it for breakfast. Then suddenly, Vimishia feels a strange sensation and looks to see winds coming towards her. She wonders what this is, and then the slime enters her backpack as she runs away. We see that thing chasing them, making her feel nauseous. Vimishia runs until she reaches the edge of the pit. When she looks at the winds, she realizes that it's not a monster but human. Suddenly, the wolf Shiel appears, and then those winds disappear, surprising Vimishia, who wonders what that was. Then we see Vimishia on the wolf's back, thanking him for saving her. She remembers the uncomfortable feeling and wonders what it was. Suddenly, the wolf gets angry, and we see Ogre climbing the mountain to reach them. The wolf puts Vimishia on the ground and prepares to attack. When the ogre appears, the wolf attacks him, and they both fall into the lake. Then Vimishia looks up and sees many monsters attacking her. She flees quickly until she reaches a strange place with many trees, and many logs are hanging from them like corpses. She wonders what this means, and when the monsters appear again, Vimishia continues to flee. She steps on one of the traps and gets caught in a net on a tree, just as the monster approaches her. Just before it attacks her, a magical force appears to attack it, with a person named Latrova using fire attacks to eliminate. Then he looks up and sees Vimishia, who tells him that the net is very hot. Then Vimishia screams as the fire is too intense for her. Latrova is surprised to see a child up there in the trap, but another person comes and rescues Vimishia by shooting the rope with an arrow, causing her to fall. But the boy, Latrova, catches her just in time. However, the monster approaches them and almost kills them, but then a girl named Mila arrives and uses her gel to save them. She then summons more gels to her aid, and the rest of the group kills the large monsters. They were numerous. While Vimishia watches, astonished. They are powerful and organized, and they work. Then Vimishia starts to get to know them. They are the suppression squad, sent to this area after hearing that monsters were hunting and killing humans. They apologize to her for the trap she fell into, explaining that it was meant for the monsters, not her. She fell into it by mistake. They reassure her that she's okay, and she thanks them for saving her. The boy with golden hair tells her they are a group of adventurers called the Blazing Swords. The one with white hair is the leader named Cecil. The one beside him is called Noje. The one with long hair and a bow is named Shivali, and the boy with blue eyes is Latrova, consulting with the girl behind him named Mila. Vimishia introduces herself with a pseudonym, Avi, happy to have met them. Scene shifts, and the leader speaks to her as they walk. Their camping site is at the bottom of the hill. But what is she doing here in the midst of the mountains, he asks. She tells them she was on her way to the town of Otalu from a village called Latomie the Tame. Afterwards, the monsters chased me again, so everyone is surprised that she's alone. as the monsters are hovering in the area. Therefore, they all go to the same place, but it's necessary for her to travel with them to be safe. Then the leader points out the location of the suppression squad's camping site. Saijaku mentions that there are many adventurer groups with them in this location. At this moment, Shield appears, and when Vimishia sees him, she is very happy, but also very worried because if anyone finds her now, they will hunt her down. She keeps gesturing for him to leave, but he doesn't understand her. She continues to signal for him to understand and leave, until Latrava sees her doing that. He asks her if there is a problem or not, and she replies that there isn't anything. He then tells her that the place is this way, and after they reach the camping site, Vimishia continues to look at the people present and finds that there is a large gathering of adventurer teams from different places, so this place must expand to accommodate them. After that, the leader speaks to her, saying that this is their tent, the Blazing Sword's tent. Then he tells her that the piece of land next to them is vacant, so she can use it as she pleases. Then the leader speaks to the rest of his team, saying that they must leave as they will attend a meeting about the next steps in hunting the monsters, leaving Latrova with Vimishia so he can do whatever she wants. Then we transition to Latrova with Vimishia, where there are lots of vegetables and meat in front of them. Vimishia asks if he will cook, and he replies that he will, although he's never been skilled at cooking. He always tries hard to cook something, but when the rest of the team taste it, they never like the taste, so they get angry with him, making him scared of cooking. Vimishia asks him about the nature of the dishes he usually prepares. He answers that despite its appearance, he has a 3-star fire attack skill where he grills and roasts, burning everything in front of him, seasoning it with salt and pepper. So he asks her to help him prepare this dinner, and Vimishia agrees. Vimishia says, "Let's prepare wild rabbit meat together. We can use herbs to remove the gamey odor. Rub it well with some salt for seasoning, then cut it into small pieces and shallow fry it. We'll also chop the vegetables and cook them in a pan with the meat, adding some herbs for aroma and flavor. Then we'll take some mutton and add some moderate spicy herbs and fry until browned and ready." Latrova is very impressed by Vimishia's cooking skills. After that, they eat the food. Vimishia hopes they like it. The leader invites them to start eating, and they thank her for the food, their faces changing. Then Vimishia becomes sad, asking if they didn't like the food. Chevalier speaks up, holding this dish, and smells it. He says it's wild rabbit, but he doesn't smell any foul odor. Noga says it's fragrant, and he didn't know food could be cooked like this. Vimishia then explains about a dish with aromatic tree leaves cooked at high heat, which helps remove the gamey odor from the meat. Then she thinks to herself, if people in this area don't use herbs, then Mila comes in saying, "What a beautiful smell. It's so strange to see the blazing swords enjoying a decent meal." Latrova tells her she came at the perfect time. Vimishia brought a beautiful meal. Mila becomes very happy and goes to join them. She tastes the food and is amazed by it. The leader says it's very delicious. The cooking is perfect, and the aroma is delightful. Vimishia tells them she's very glad they liked the food. Chevalier says that since Latrova was tasked with cooking duty, he was worried about our dinner tonight, but thanks to her, they enjoyed it. Then Latrova asks if Vimishia cooked all this food, and she replies, "Mr. Latrova and I prepared it together. He skillfully controlled the fire for me, so the results were commendable." Mr. Latrova then tells them that fire control is ultimately his specialty. He then lights a torch and throws it into the sky, causing fireworks to happen, delighting everyone. Vimishia tells them they have a variety of metals, so they can create more beautiful fires using these materials, which include scraps and shards of iron, copper, tin, decorative stones, and other equipment. Vimishia is very happy about this, but Mira asks her what she will do with all these pieces. Vimishia explains that, for example, if they take this decorative stone and add this wild rabbit bone and some salt, then tie them together like this. She then asks Mr. Latrova if he can launch these upwards and burn them the way he did before. He does so, and beautiful lights, like fireworks of different colors, emerge from them. This process is repeated several times and the sky lights up with fireworks. Afterwards, everyone finishes their meal, having indulged in eating too much because the food was so delicious. Then the leader Saijaku comes and orders Vimishia to go and rest because she prepared all this delicious food for them. He tells her that they will take care of the cleaning. Vimishia insists that she will also clean the dishes because she managed to celebrate thanks to them, and she wants to thank them for saving her from the ogre. The leader agrees to clean the dishes together. Suddenly, we see Mr. Latrova deeply affected by Vimishia. He tells her, "You're very cute. I wish I had a little child like you." Then he hugs her, but everyone stops him and moves him away from her because he's strong and might hurt her with his powerful body. After that, she enters her tent and apologizes to Sora for being late. She gives him his special dinner, and Sora is very happy and starts eating. Vimishia says to herself, "Today was tough in every way, and those people surprised me at first. I'm glad they're good people. Good night, Sora." On the other hand, we see Chevalier with black hair saying, "This boy is still very young. I'm amazed by his ability to travel all this distance alone." They imagine him as a boy, not a girl. Noga, the strong one with red hair, notices that the boy didn't eat well as he looks very thin. They all love this child. The leader, Selk, says that child is very cute with others. The worried look on his face when I asked him to rest and his expression of happiness when I asked him to help me clean seemed as if he had in mind that if he wasn't useful, he would be thrown aside. But there's nothing we can do about that, really. On another side, we see Vimishia and Sora sleeping deeply, blissfully happy. And with that, our episode ends today. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes, but we kindly ask you to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive all the latest updates.